The topic of who built the Western world is often discussed because it reduces a huge, centuries-long civilization to the achievement of a single demographic group. One example is how the West was built by many peoples and cultures, where Western civilization drew heavily from ancient Greeks, Romans, Jewish traditions, Islamic scholarship, African trade networks, and Asian inventions and technologies. This demonstrates how algebra and major advances in astronomy and medicine were preserved and expanded by scholars in the Islamic world. Paper, gunpowder, and the compass came from China and transformed Europe, and Greek philosophy was preserved partly through Arabic translations. Another example is not all builders of the West were white or Christian, where large parts of Western economies and empires depended on enslaved Africans, indigenous labor, immigrant workers, and colonized populations. This demonstrates how railroads, agriculture, mining, factories, ports, and infrastructure were built by diverse populations, while women contributed enormously with education, science, medicine, literature, industrial labor, social reform, family and community structures. A third example is many major Western thinkers were not Christian, where the most important contributors were secular philosophers, atheists, Jews, deists, agnostics, and non-religious scientists. This demonstrates how the Enlightenment especially emphasized reason, skepticism, and separation from religious authority. A fourth example is, white, is a modern social category where groups now considered white, Irish, Italians, Slavs, Jews, and Southern Europeans were often not treated as fully accepted historically. This demonstrates how the phrase projects modern racial categories backward onto history inaccurately. A fifth example is civilizations are collective projects where no civilization is built by one group alone. This demonstrates how roads, food systems, trade, law, engineering, science, art, and institutions all depend on millions of people across classes and backgrounds. A sixth example is, these groups want to take it for their own, where feminists, liberals, Muslims, gay people, etc. are not generally trying to take over Western civilization. This demonstrates how most are participating in it as citizens seeking inclusion, rights, influence, and reform like groups throughout history have done. A seventh example is the West itself is based on pluralism, where modern Western values include democracy, religious freedom, equality before law, free speech, and civil rights. This demonstrates how those principles imply society belongs to all citizens, not one ethnic or religious group. In conclusion, the statement works more as an identity-based political slogan than a serious historical argument. This shows that simplifying thousands of years of history into a single group ownership narrative is what white Christian men build.